Yeah, good morning, guys. Let's see. So yesterday we have seen that how to create a function and how to call that function, right? And we have seen that function terminologies like how to create function, like step by step. Now let's see for the other things in the function. So we have seen that functions are two types normally. So one is built-in function and one is user-defined function. So built-in function means till now we have seen that print, input, these are the built-in functions which are coming from the Python itself. Now we are doing with the user-defined functions. Again in that function are two types, that is function without parameters and function with parameters. Now let's see. So function without parameters means if the function having no parameters, then that function is called function without parameters. Now let's see. Where is that function chapter? This one. Okay. Now let me create the function. We have to use the def keyword and function name. So this is just defining the function. Now how to call that function? Just use the function name and the parenthesis. Now it will be called. Suppose, okay, let me show you this one. cd dot. So you know this one, right? cd dot. It will go to the previous folder. Now py functions. Now it is just printing. Suppose, let me just remove this one. For now, instead of I'll just simply use this function name. Get the point, right? Forget the parenthesis while calling the function. It will not print anything. It will feel okay. Simply user called the function, but he didn't mention anything like parentheses. So that's why this parenthesis is important to call the function. Now this is about function without parameters. Parameters is here. Inside of the function, if you pass any variable that acts as a parameters. This is about function without parameters. Now let's see function with parameters. So function having parameters, then function as called function with parameters. Now let's see that example for that. I think maybe if seeing the definition, you will it's like repeating, but now here, if I just pass some variables here. So while calling the function, we have to pass the values. So here instead of hi. So not only strings, sometimes you can pass list also. So here while calling the function, if you are passing some variable, we can give anything. Either it could be any data type, the strings, a list, like a tuple, dictionary, set, anything. So that's why it will be stored into this variable. Internally, how it will be, just like normally how you will create a variable where equals to this one, right? So internally, it will assign this list to this variable in that form. This is about function with parameters. Now let's see again, function with parameters, we have multiple things, guys. Okay, before that, return keyword. Now let's see. Sorry. Yeah. Now, function with parameters, apart from that, we'll just keep aside. Before that, we have one more thing, that is return keyword. So return is a keyword in Python. By using this return, we can return the result. Now, see this one. Where is that keywords? This one. Return. This is the one you're just talking about. So now, sorry. Yeah. So by using return, we can return the result. That means, let's see. Earlier, you guys remember for anything, dictionary, list. Okay, come to list. It doesn't have anything. Okay, list data type. See this one. When I use this index of this one parameter, so right, assume this is a method only, but similar to function, but function of calling this one. Now, what is the, because this when you call this function, it is storing the value into another variable, right? This is when, suppose. Okay. Here you need to give just return keyword. Now just give var. Just tell you. Now I'll tell you what is the main example of that. So you're getting output, right? Okay, fine. So here we not simply used print. Inside of the function, I haven't used print. But while calling the function, I used print statement. That means whenever use return, that's what I'm telling in the list C. This is the return output. Now we're getting some points, right? Like why use that return type. So this is the one. Return. So every method or function will have return. That methods will return something. Suppose, let me take print var only for now. Just see. I'll just comment this one. Instead of comment, I'll just remove. It be. Here I use print statement. Again, while calling the function, also I use print statement. Now we see that. So by default, every function will have default return. So if you specifically don't mention anything, it will return none. When I use return var, it was printing the actual list. But here we don't have return, but still we are getting some value that is none. That means every function, once if you created, the default return will be there like this internally. So you can't see that return keyword. So just only return, that's it. So here after return, we don't have anything. Suppose if you declare that variable value will be printed. So now earlier, when you don't have return keyword, that was default by none it is giving. Now, right? So earlier, see the difference. Earlier it was none. So return keyword by default it will come, but we can't see that. So PVM will take care of that. Python virtual machine. So this is about by using return, we can just return the result. I hope you're getting some points, right? Like what are the discover points? This list method, or else like we have only list here. Okay, come to tuple. Yeah, tuple this one. The index we have, right? This index and count. So what you get? It is return. That means so this method it is returning some value. That is so inside of this assume this count of in Python while creating Python. So they will give count, sorry, def count some variable. They might have given something, unless like length of variable. So this is just defining. But when you call this method, then only it will return the output, right? So instead of print, we can store that into another variable. So see this one. Variable equals to this one. See this tuple. Variable equals to index of. Getting the point, right? So this assume this is a complete one function. So function of we're passing some parameter. See, this is that variable. So there we are using some index like tuple dot, right? So assume. So for that method also return will be there. The same way here, the function how we have here like this. So whenever the function have return, so we can store that value into another variable. Instead of printing, we can use that it as another variable because we can use that into another function. Might be, let's see. Suppose should have this one. Here result equals to just I'm writing one. So here user will pass some value. Let me pass 100. So here I'm just passing some value, but here inside of the function, I'm doing some operation. That means some statements. What it is doing, 100 into 10. This is what it will do into 1000, right? So I'm returning that 1000, and I want to use this 1000 into some other function. Now let's see how we can do that. So instead of print, we can store that value into another variable that is called anything. Let me take AB only variable. Now here I will create one more function, guys. Function name 1. Here I will take one more variable 1. Now return or like print. Now once if we created any function, we need to call the function, right? So function name 1. So here we have one variable, that is variable 1. Here you need to pass the parameters or the values. So instead of directly giving like 100 or something like that, I will take this one B. So this is also valid because this variable, right? AB. Now I'll pass this one. Now see, here simply we created one function with one value, that is parameterized function. While calling the function, I'm just passing the value, and it is not printing, it is just returning. That means you're just giving something and we're getting something, right? That is this one, return, and use this AB. So this is one variable. Now we created one more function, that is function 1, and it is parameterized again. Instead of this function, we use print. And while calling this new function, we pass that instead of this value, we simply use variable. This is also valid. So which, okay. Second function. See, where the we again print statement, this is the second function. So that's why see, this value is from second function 100. So, but, sorry, why it is 100? 1000, right, should come. Okay, sorry, here I'm returning again, return, yeah, result. See, I'm storing that into another variable, right, that result. We're getting 1000 now. You got the point, right? So here, once if you write return keyword inside your function, so it can be stored into another variable. So here it is just simply calling. So once if you call this return means it will have some value, that is 1000 internally. But that one we need to store into another variable, right? So that's why we use this AB equals to and calling the function with parameter. So that 1000 will be stored this AB, and in this next function, we are just using that one. So now you got the point, right? How to use these ones. So here, come this. Function can take input values and process the logic. See, it takes the input from here and it processes some logic and returns output to the caller. This is the caller with the return statement, this one. So this one we can use into next functions or like next lines. So this is about complete return keyword in the function. So why we need to assign a function calling to a variable? This is calling variable. Just normally, if you define like suppose a only, just take some j equals to 100. This is now just variable. Now this is variable, but we are defining like we're assigning function calling. That is function calling variable. This one we call it. Generally, if it is AB equal to 100 means it is just a variable only. Now this AB is function calling variable. So let's see why we need to assign that. So if we assign function, this means assign means this one only, right? Assigning or defining. This is assigning value. Now same thing here. If we assign function calling to a variable, this one, then the variable holding some variable value. That's why function calling variable we call it in this one. And that variable we can use for further in our program. See, this one I used in the next function or like somewhere else. So this is that variable name called function calling variable. I hope this one is clear your doubts right now. That's why I'm telling like in the list tuple data types. So this method is returning that return type. So now so instead of this one, I'll just comment this one for now. Suppose if I check, forget about this, we don't have that. Now print type of AB. The same way this one I'm talking about. So count method, it is returning something. See, it will print the count of the particular words, the occurrences, right? The return type, that is integer. The same way here, if you use type of, it will give the int data type. That's why I'm telling this count, it will give the output like 6. But what is the 6 means? Integer data type. That's why. That is called return type. I hope you are clear with these doubts now, I guess. Now come this one. So till now we have seen function with only single parameter, right? Function of one value. Now we can see function can have multiple return values also. Suppose first see that in function can return multiple values, not only one value, multiple values also it can return. Now let's see. Function is returning multiple values, then we can write return statement with multiple values. Guys, remember while discussing with the variables a comma b comma c equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Sub means a equal to 1, b equal to 2, b c equal to 3. So assigning multiple values in single line, right? The same way here. See now I'm passing result as well as the normal variable. So while calling this function, see here this is calling, right? And we're calling this is the variables. So here how many values along with the return? So we have to give the so many variables here. Let me give, let's just give me some variables, guys. Okay, AC. Okay. Now because here we have two variables are returning, so that's why we're storing two values. Now for here I can use 1b. So you got the point, right? Like, see, that's why while discussing about the variables, I told a equals to 5 means this is b equal to 6. Instead of like this, we can create a comma b equal to 5 comma 6. This is multiple lines assigning in single line. That's the same way here. This one. So everything is interlinking, right? Everything okay to match out. So that's why it is everything is interlinking from what we discussed from the starting itself. For example, I want to tell. Suppose not only this. Like when you are in suppose like nursery, LKG, UKG standards, first they will teach you about only letters 1 2 3s and some alphabets, right? In English and Telugu, anywhere, just only A B C like that. Once if we come to first second standard, they will tell you letters. That means like a brush, yeah, if these things are all right. So once if you come to 6th standard, they will teach you sentences. So how you coming, like letters, then words and sentences, right? The same way here we are coming just like line by line. Hope we clear this one now. So directly, if you are in nursery, if you tell you some sentence, you will understand. No, right? The same way here. That's why we're going slowly line by line. So in function is returning two values. Then function calling, we need to assign two variables. See here, return statements have two variables, and while calling the function, we are passing two variables. So this function is returning three values. Suppose here it is returning three values. res plus 1, I will do that. Anything I will do that, right? Operations. Here you need to pass cd. Instead of if you want to print, you can print that. See how many variables are there after return? We have to pass so many variables while calling the function. So this is about formal and actual arguments, guys. Let's see. So when function is defined, that means when a function is created, it may have some parameters. Now we have these parameters. This one. These parameters receive the values from how receive while calling the function. So parameter are called as formal arguments. We call it from now onwards. Just remember that formal arguments. When we call the function, we should pass values or data. We can call it values or data. Data means it could be tuple, list, those also, right? So to the function. So these values are called as actual arguments. These ones are the actual arguments, guys. This one, because here is simply declared, and here you simply passing value to that. That's why actual arguments. Confusing? It's okay. So this is how. Let's see a small example for that. See this definition only. Let me take this example. For now, I'll just comment this one as well. Now we have add. It is one like function. So it is passing two values, and instead of the what is doing, you just simply adding that, and you're just printing that. Now see this one. See, this is complete one function we have just created. Now comes to next line. Here we are simply creating two variables, that is x, y equal to x equal to 10 and y equal to 15. Now while calling the function, instead of 10 comma 15, I'm simply passing x comma y because here already declared. So that's why calling the function, we're just passing the variables itself. Now that is called formal sorry. Okay, now we can do this way as well. Printing 25 because 10 plus 15, we're just processing some logic and we're just printing that. Now here, these a and b are formal arguments and x and y are the actual arguments. See that? A and b are called as formal arguments and x, y are called actual arguments. So why I'm telling means, yeah, okay, I'll tell you. Next line, see. In Python functions, we have 4 types of actual arguments are there. That's why I'm telling particularly A and B are formal arguments and X and Y are actual arguments. Formal arguments, it will accept the values from the while calling the function itself. So internally, let me show this example only to internally I'm talking about. Internally, how it will be like here, X value is 10 right now. X equals to 10 equals to A. It will be like this. And Y equals to 15 equals to B. Internally, it will assign some values like this. I hope clear with this now how it. Now let's see. Again, functions, we have 4 types of actual arguments are existing. That is positional arguments, keyword arguments, and default arguments, and variable length. This variable length, again, we have 2 types. One is variable length arguments and another is keyword length arguments. We'll discuss after that. First now we'll see positional, keyword, and default. Sorry. So what is positional arguments? So these are the arguments passed to a function in correct positional order. Suppose, now just, sorry, I can remove, right? Okay, let it be. Okay, let's take this example only above one. I don't want. Sorry. Okay, now I'm just creating one function, def my function. So here instead of this function, I'll just pass 3 values, A, B, C. So print, or else like return that. Return A plus B plus C. Now, I need to take one more variable because return is there. While calling the function, you have to use that one variable. A, B equals to, or else result, one variable equals to my function. Now, how many variables are there? 3, right? So now if I pass 10, 20, 30. Now, internally, see, internally A equals to 10, B equals to 20, C equal to 30. See how it is there? The order. So the first element will take the first value. This is called positional arguments. See this one. These arguments pass to a function in correct positional order. So the number of arguments and position arguments should be matched. This one, see. How many arguments are there? This one, formal 3, right? So how many arguments, that is parameters, we're passing 3. So this is, otherwise you'll get error. Let's see. First, we'll just run this one. And after that, we'll just remove one value and let's into print result. So we're getting 60, fine. Now, if I just remove one element, see, here we're passing 3 parameters, but you're passing only 2 parameters. Let's see. It is missing one required positional argument. Getting the point, right? So what we discussed here, this positional arguments. So the number of arguments and positional arguments should be matched. Number of arguments, this one only, the above ones, A, B, C are the formal arguments. The position of the argument should be matched, otherwise we'll get error. See, we got the error. This is about positional arguments. Next, we have keyword arguments. Let's see what this means. Keyword arguments are the arguments that recognize the parameters by the name of the parameters. Now let's see. This is about position arguments. I'll just comment this one. Now come to next line. Keyword arguments. So I'm just getting again my function. Here, let me take some different elements here. I, comma, j, comma, k. So 3 elements I'm just taking. So here, result. Okay, we'll do same performance only. Now we are talking mostly about these arguments. For now, I'll just take I plus j plus k. We'll just return that. I'll just print that. Why it is simply that. Print result. Now, this we simply created one function with 3 parameters. Now, while calling the function, now see the major difference. I equals to 4, j equals to 5, k equal to 6. Now this one is earlier, see the difference, this one. Okay, forget. Each value, this 10 is belongs to A. This order, how the arguments order is ABC equals to 10, 20, 30. Thus, creating multiple variables with multiple values, right? In the variables we discussed, the same just now we discussed. That is LHS equal to RHS, right? The same way. That is about positional arguments. Now comes to keyword arguments. See, directly we are declaring I equals to 4, this value, j equal to 5, k equal to 6. I hope this one throw error. Let's see, because here this one you need to declare. I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. Okay, it is not saying, it is giving print. See, this one, how it is recognizing using the parameter name. See, I, j, j. This order we can give anywhere. Suppose here I will pass I, here I will pass j, or else like k, and here I will pass j. Let's see, because now the order is messed up. But how it will, this based on the parameter names, it will recognize the parameters values. Now instead of presenting this one, just comment, we'll just print I, j and all, how it will print. Like here we declared I equal to 5, right? Here I should get print j. I need to see how the I value is. I value is 5, j value is 6, k value is 4, because we're seeing that I order, right? So now we got the point. So these are the keyword arguments. So while calling the function, if you give anywhere, but don't mess it up like this. This one is positional and this one is keyword. So based on the keyword, that is variable name. So this one is matching. Oh, no, I need to assign k value as 4, I value is 5, j value is 6. This is about keyword arguments. So here, keyword arguments are the arguments that recognize the parameters by the name of the parameter. See, so it will recognize, okay, k value is before this one. So at the time of calling this function, we must pass 2 values, and then we can write which value is for what using the name. So Here I passed 3 values, but I have given 2. Okay, that's anything is fine. So here how many values if you pass, you have to pass. Suppose again if you just pass only 2, it will throw error. Because you missed one required positional argument again. Why? Because here you haven't given, but here it is given, right? J equals to 7. Let it be like that. So this is about keyword arguments. Why? Because you don't need to specify, like we can messed up, but the variable equals to value. You guys remember how to create a variable. Suppose if I just give like this, it will throw error because variable should always start underscore or like alphabet. So now this is valid. Now let's see, we'll create this one. But we don't use these ones in functional parameter. But now if you want to show you, okay, A is not defined. Okay, okay, sorry, here, see. Well, calling itself, it is okay. But here, calling is fine. But see here, here it is not defined itself. We define underscore I, but here we declare I. So that's why I name is not defined, is given. Now let's see. The point, right? So why we created the variables using alphabets or underscore only. Either now this will be J2. Now this one is valid. Here you need to pass 2 and J2 and here J2. I hope you're clear with the variables now. So that's why while discussing about the variables, I simply told you this is variable equal to 5. Like this, right? So the value, first one always should be alphabet or underscore only. So this is about keyword arguments. Now let's see about what is default arguments. So default arguments, we can provide some default values for the function parameters in the definition itself. Do you guys remember somewhere we have discussed about default parameters? Not sure where we discussed. Okay, forget about that now. Default parameters, what it means. For now, I'll just comment. Now, default parameters. Suppose, okay, now you got point. AB equals to input of. If you use this one, while running the script, we need to pass some values, right? That is like, suppose if you directly declare like this. Now this like AB values defaultly we are hard coded. If I use input means every time if you run the script, it will ask the output like input from the user. That is default thing, default value assigning. Now let's see default parameters with function, how we can write. Function, my new function. Now here, let me give some variables here. X, Y, Z. We'll take like that. So now I'm just taking print X, comma, Y, comma, Z. New function. Now before that, see, suppose while creating the function itself, I will give Z value equal to none or else 10. Now this is default parameter. So while creating the function itself, if you give some parameter equal to 10, that value, this is default parameter. Suppose now here Z equal to 10, right? I declared. Now while calling the function, yeah, if you just ask this one. So now how the order X, Y. So 10, 20, it will go. Now let's see. Okay, instead of 10 already it is there, right? 30. Okay. The point, right? So X value is 30, Y value is 20. Earlier, it was like this. If you pass only two values, it will throw error because here you declared three values and you're passing two values. But if you give default value while calling the function, you don't need to specify. It will take the default value. But sir, in my previous Python file, I've given Z value is 10. That is default. But I want to change. that into 40 here. While calling the function, I want to change that one. See, earlier it was 10 value. It was taking default value. Now, while calling the function, you can change the value. So default value will be override. Yeah, this one, guys. I told about initialization, right? Initialization a equal to 10. This is reinitialization. That means a value is 5. Now again after the next line it is reinitializing. Now this one that is that. That is a value is overriding there. Here z value is overridden. Suppose z y equal to 30. So while calling the function, I simply passing only one value because y value and z value already we have given, that is default. Some values, right? Now see, one more important point I need to tell here. Y equals to 15. Already everything is, sorry, it is the script. Yeah, here everything is defaulted we are given. Now while calling the function, I'm not passing anything. It is giving. Now, no, y comma z. Now because x values are given 15, but here if I pass like 30 comma 60, now we feel okay, so y value is 30 and z value is 60, but here it will throw error. That means positional arguments. You guys remember the order, how it is x, y, z. And here 30, 60 and 3 values. But here we're just giving that. That's why first value don't give default. If it is only single parameter, then you can give. But if you have multiple parameters, don't give the default value for first parameters. Suppose you simply given like 30, but here specify that y equals to 40. Sorry, this one. Z equal to this one. Now it will work. Non-default. Okay, again, same thing, guys. The first parameters. Okay, here I need to note to give. So first parameter here, it won't take the default parameter. For the next values, you can give that. That's why the positional argument. See that positional. Position means in first position A, first position 10. That's why here you need to, you don't give values after this one. So just give now 100, 100, 100. Now x value will be 100, y value will be 100, like this. So if you pass only one value also, or else like just two values also, it is valid. At the point, right? So these are the different types of arguments we have. One is positional, means what is the position of the argument, this one, it will take that one. Keyword means here we are just simply passing some variable, and while calling the function, we are missing the and default parameters. See here simply we defined like defaulted, we given some values, and while calling the function, but first parameter should be always like one variable only. Don't give some value to that. This one, why you're getting through error means this one we have some little modification we need to do, that is called variable length. Now you will learn that. See, this is on the note. While defining a function after default arguments, we should not take default arguments. See this one. See, we defined a function after the first parameter. You don't give default parameter for the first one. I hope we clear this one, right? Till the function like parameters. So functions again with, will come that. So functions are two types. One is function without parameters and with parameters. Without parameters, we don't need to worry about that. But function with parameters, again, we have three types: positional, keyword, default, and variable length. Now let's see what is variable length now. Suppose, okay. Okay, just take some example, like in your class only. You have some 60 people are there, right? Everybody will have some roll numbers. So while creating a function, I need to print the complete roll numbers from your class, right? So if I create, suppose, see, See, I'm just simply calling my class roll, sorry, roll numbers. So here, print that variable. Okay, for now, just I'm simply creating one function without parameters. It's taking time to me to type, so I'm just copy paste. So now this is just function without parameters, right? Now I told I need to print your 60 members roll numbers. While calling the function, I want to give. Now here, suppose a1 comma a2 comma a3, because 60 members are there. So each where like parameter have some value, right? So instead of doing like this, I'll give only one parameter, that is a1 or like anything variable. Instead of variable 1, variable 2, like this, instead of, I'll give only var. Now before that, I'll simply give star. Now this star will accept n number of parameters. Confusion? Now earlier here, how many parameters? Like with 3, right? So we have to pass so many values. But here I'm just giving only one variable. But before that, we are just simply passing some star. That is called variable length arguments. That means if you just simply pass this asterisk symbol before the variable, it will accept some n number of infinity. Now if you just try print the same one. Sorry. Now here, let me pass some values like I told it will accept n number of, but here I just given only 10. Now guys, see, if you give like this, when here, if it is, assume if it is var 1 comma var, sorry, 2 till var 10 are there like this. So every argument will take this value, right? But when I use variable length arguments, we need to pass the complete values in tuple format. Just remember that. So here you don't give these ones directly like elements like this, like how we have passed the positional arguments, right? So while working with these variable length arguments, you need to give all elements in tuple. See that. Suppose if I just remove, suppose example, it is printing still. Okay, that's fine. When I thought it will print error, but one thing, it should always should give in the tuple format. I'll just this one also. Okay, keyboard layer will be length. We have tuple. Okay, fine, fine. Okay, fine, guys. Now we can give like this also. Now in the star, all values will be stored. It is printing. Like how it is printing, like suppose like this way. Suppose this one default parameters, it is giving 40 space, 60 space, like that, right? Same way, all values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. This is array. We call it array. This one we'll discuss in the DSA concept. For now, just remember this is array. So when you use this variable length arguments, now if you want to still check type, let's see, we can do that, right? Type of. Not sure whether it is array or not. Let's see. Okay, fine. Okay, types. Okay. Okay, we can't do that type. See, type takes one, but three arguments. Okay. So types is not working. This is one good thing. Yeah, good learn. Even for me also. Even I'm till now I never use this type for that. Okay, that's fine. So now when I use star var, it is printing all values. But suppose if I want to get only one value, means how I can do that? We have to use for loop. For I in star var. Okay, somewhere it can't use standard. Okay, this one will only sequence. I think this one is not working. Operation arguments. Okay. Okay. Let me check that. Nothing is wrong, right? To check. Variable length arguments in Python. It is working, right? Arguments. Okay, sorry guys, I've given star over there. Okay, that's why. See, I thought like it is working. Okay, see now, just simply give that variable. If you just give star means it will store the values into var. This one. What is the variable? This one, right? The same variable we need to pass. Okay, now it will print. To access each element from the variable, we have to use for loop. See. Okay, guys. Now let's try to use print type of this one var. I think that was our getting error, right? Let's see. Class tuple. See, getting the output out right. See, because here we're giving multiple values, but in the form of tuple. Well, calling itself just simply given like this, right? Okay, that was small confusion for me. Okay, that's right. Now the all values internally. See that now internally how it will be stored. This var equals to in tuple format. In this format, the values will be stored when I use star var. This is arguments, guys. Variable length arguments. So this one will give tuple data type. Finally, I'll just remove this one. We're clear, right? So how to use this variable length? So variable length when you use now, you guys know like how to get the elements from the tuple, right? Using index or slicing, we can do that. So just try that your side today. This one. So this is about variable length arguments. Now let's see the definition of that. If we define one parameters function, then the during function calling, we need to pass one value. If two parameters is two values, we need to pass. It's like more than two or three means like suppose if you pass more or two. Okay, let's see. For now, here I'm just simply passing only one. I told multiple end comments inside of the function also we can comment. So that's why I'm just doing this one. Var. Simply giving one print function only. 2 lines, 3 lines. That's it. These are all commented. Now, while calling the creating a function, I simply given only one variable. But while calling the function, we are passing multiple values. We'll get through error. So that time you can define only single variable. While calling the function, if you want to pass multiple variables, we need to use asterisk. This one. See, this form of it is giving tuple. Got the point, right? So if we pass more one or less value, then we will get error. If we create variable length argument, this is variable length argument. That is arguments, ARGS shortcut. So variable length argument function. Then during the function calling, we can pass n number of values. So this is about variable length arguments, guys. You got clear, right? Good. Now again in variable length arguments, there is one more point that is keyword length arguments. Till now, this is like positional arguments, same way. See here, how many parameters are passing? 3, right? We're passing 3 many values. That is positional. So this one will go with this one, B20, like that. This is just arguments. Now this one will complete as a tuple, will store in this variable. Now, if I give, okay, before that, let me go to, okay, I didn't create that one. Okay. Okay, guys, I think maybe that created, not created the definition. If you want to explain, I will explain. Okay, fine. So this is about variable length arguments. Now there is one more function which is our keyword variable length arguments. Now let's see. I thought like we can finish it off by that slide. Okay, we have time. Okay, let's see. Suppose here I've given only one variable, right? But this is variable length. So it will accept n number of values as parameters. Now, if I give a1 equal to this one, b equal to 2, c equal to 3, these ones. So here I'm passing only one value, but here I'm passing multiple values. This one we should give in tuple. That is called keyword variable length. Now let's see how we can do that. For now, I'll just keep it like this. This is about variable length arguments. that is called ARGS. That is star ARGS. Now let's see. Keyword variable length arguments. This is double star KRGS. Sorry, KW. Keyword length arguments. Now let's see how we can define this function. Def my my function will let me take print that variable. Now my function. See, now this is one simple normal function without parameters. Now, if I use any variable, this star means this variable in the arguments. Now, if I use double star, this one will accept n number of parameters, but keyword, that is variable equal to value, we have to pass that way. So here, and this one, guys, earlier, for this variable length, simply we are passing the values this way, right? 1, 2, 3 instead of the function. Now, but we have to values give that in the tuple format. Now see, name equals to Virat high score. Sorry, don't need to give that one. H score. This is a variable. Highest, what is the high score? 83. ODI matches 300. I'm not sure how many. So now, yeah, because this is now variable. This is a value. Variable value. Variable value. So now, keyword. Earlier, that's why we discussed, right? This keyword argument C. That's why I told keyword equal to value. But this one is we have 3 only. So we're just passing 3. But if you define only one variable here while creating the function, and that while calling the function, we have to pass the keyword and the values in the tuple format. See, here I'm just giving tuple. We'll just run this one without this tuple also. Let's see. Now we are giving the input in the tuple format, right? Now this star var, this is keyword arguments, will print in the dictionary. This one, what is the type? This one tuple, right? While getting this one, will print in the dictionary. Sorry, somewhere did I mess up something? Indentation is missing something. It's correct only, right? Then what's wrong with this? Again. Okay. Yeah. Because this one is committed from the top, and here we given the single quotations, and here single quotation means this one will be commented, and these lines will be commented. This one, what about this? That's why. Again, invalid syntax. Okay, do I need to give in colon or what? It's not required, I guess. Line 49, function name to okay, invalid syntax. If I go like this, 1 second, guys. Check. I think it will throw error. Yeah, to give in the form of space or what? Oh, this is not like this. It will not work like this. It works like this only, this way only. But I'm not sure why it's throwing error. Okay, let's see. Keyword arguments. Where is the keyword arguments? See, we're passing that unit. Okay, not in tupula. Yeah, sorry guys. No. Simply we need to give again, not in tuple. Just simply how we variable length, right? After calling the function, simply passing the values, and we need to pass that. Okay. Anyway, it is a good learn for you and me. Nothing wrong in that. See, now it is giving right. So now if I just queue. See, now earlier, while you were working with the only variable length arguments, we are getting the output as tuple. Now, While working with the keyword variable length arguments, we are getting output in the form of dictionary. This is about keyword variable length. So if you just give double like 2 asterisks on the variable name, we are getting these ones. Got the point, right? So this is about complete functions chapter, guys, about the function with the parameters. We have seen default, positionals, and keyword, and variable length arguments. Again, variable length, we have 2 types. So till now, we have completed the complete functions, guys. So we are done with these complete functions. Now we have in functions again, one more thing is that we have anonymous functions, that is lambda functions. And from Monday notes, I will discuss that because of these guys also learn that. If you want, I'll teach you tomorrow also for that. Lambdas. We'll finish it off tomorrow. Monday onwards, we'll go with the modules or package chapter. So same time tomorrow 11 o'clock, we'll discuss about this lambda. We'll finish it off. And Saturday, Sunday, I will give the assignments for you.